Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. I'm Beth Roy, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we're going to have some fun with the October paper pumpkin. So let's just give it a few seconds here for everyone to get my notifications that I'm live. So when you pop in, say good morning, let me know you're here. I know it's getting into the holiday season, everybody's super busy. So let me know if you're here, and I'm gonna get started pretty quick today because I want to make sure I have plenty of time to show you everything. Good morning, Vicki. Good morning, Jenny. So, have you guys broke open your October paper pumpkin yet? I absolutely love it. I've got a bit of a mess in front of me. Anybody surprised by that? Okay, so I absolutely loved the October paper pumpkin. So these are the two cards that it made. And so these are the two that the kit, excuse me, that the kit made. And you got 5 of each. So this was such a great kit. Now this might look familiar. It is the exact same as the Peaceful Place Specialty Designer Series paper. So I'm going to show you today some other cards that I made using the layouts that the paper pumpkin had, and kind of recreating that with products that we have in our product line. So the Peaceful Place Suite is one of my favorites. It was first on my list. As soon as I saw it in the catalog, I knew I was going to love it. I love that it is all neutral colors. It's grays, black, and silver. And so it goes with any color scheme that you want. So I adore it. So I'm going to show you the paper pack. You've seen me show it several times. Like I said, it's my favorite. And I'll show you some cards that I made to kind of recreate the paper pumpkin because I didn't want to change the paper pumpkin. Now that isn't always the case, but I just loved them, so I didn't want to change them. Good morning, Jarvetta. So glad you can join us. So I'm going to go ahead and point you down. I have to say, I don't know if it's my internet or Facebook, but it already is not letting me do some things on the video before I started. So I might have to just take my camera out and turn it around. Good morning, Linda. I'm so glad you could join us. We're going to point down and get started. And I want to tell you, you have until November 11th, which is Wednesday, to sign up for the next paper pumpkin. And guys, you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you right now, if you've never had paper pumpkin, jump in with this kit. You are going to love it. And I am so excited for it. I can't wait. So let's point down and we'll just jump in because I want to get started right away so we can kind of be on time. Let's see. I'm just getting, okay, we'll just turn it around. So I'm going to take this out and and turn this around. The hardest part's getting it straight. Okay. All right. Let my computer catch up here and I'll make sure we're in. So, the beauty of this paper, is the lighting okay, or should I turn on my extra light? Excuse me, I cannot, I've got a dry throat this morning. The best part about this paper, because it is black and white, and it has some silver in there, so this is a Specialty Designer Series paper. You can add any colors you want to this. So I love this paper. I'm going to show you it. I have to admit, I have lots and lots of packs of it. I do have a class coming up, a class to go coming up using this paper. So if you want in on it, click on my class tab and you'll see the sign up for that. It has an embossing folder that's called Timber, I believe. Yes, Timber 3D. It has some pretty sequins, some gorgeous sparkly glittered ribbon, and part of the suite is also this snowy white velvet sheet. I haven't used it much yet. And then of course the bundle. So you're going to see this is the paper pumpkin stamp set, and I have one already on my block that I've been using. But it has all these beautiful fonts. It says Merry Christmas, Peaceful Christmas Wishes, and Holiday Cheer. And then it has some sayings for the inside. And I love these little trees. So later on today, I'm going to be doing some simple stamping cards with this stamp set. So when you get Paper Pumpkin, you get an exclusive stamp set and you get a spot. Not sure where my spot has run off to. I typically grab out my full-size pad. So the spot for this Paper Pumpkin was Shaded Spruce. It's here somewhere. There it is. So here's what the spots look like. And you just use your scissors and break the seal on either side. I just kind of tend to collect these, but they are great to use with the Stamparatus. And you can buy the ink refill bottles and re-ink these when they start to get dry. Store them upside down, just like our pads store the foam. When our pads close, the foam is upside down. So this is, it opens, and see when it closes, the pad's actually upside down. That foam, that way it stays juicy at the top. So you want to do the same thing with your spots. And I use a little piece of tape once I break the seal to kind of keep that lid on. They are not tight fitting, but you can just put them upside down and put a little piece of tape. You could even put a piece of cardstock taped to the bottom so you know what color spot it is without, you know, turning them all over and everything. So that is the color with this one. And I do love these cards, but you know, I'm a blue girl and a teal girl, so I had to try some of my own color schemes with this. And so we're going to use these two layouts. And this is one piece, so I did keep a couple card kits not done so I could show you the bits and pieces in case you didn't get this kit. And the refills are sold out. So when you do a refill, you just get the bits and pieces to the kit. You don't get the stamp set or the spot. So, but these are like, these vellum trees are one piece. So I'm going to show you, these look exactly like the dies for the Peaceful Cabin bundle. So these are the dies, and there's 3 trees, and they look like this when they're cut out. So I'm going to show you how I recreated, oops, I got everything stuck together here, some of these cards. And you can use what you have on hand. Even if you're changing the shapes, you can use whatever you have. Good morning, Pam. So I love the stamp set. Now, something I forgot was on this one, this was stamped in the background and then the vellum trees were on top. And when I laid this down and assembled this, I forgot to stamp any extra trees. So, you know, you could add that in on the next card or whatever. So I wanted to show you my 2 cards. So we don't have a scripty Noel word cut out. We do have a Noel stamp, and you could fussy cut around it. So I just used the, I need to make sure I tell you the right name of these dies. These are in the annual catalog. They're the Playful Alphabet dies to spell Noel. Another thing you can do, and I cut all these little things out. It was a little bit too small for me, but we do have some scripty words. This is from the, where's that one at? These words are from the Love You More Than, and they go with that really cute tropical drink stamp set, and it has chocolates and cookies and stuff. You could cut these apart and use the scripty letters and reassemble them to make your word. They were a little small for me, so I decided to just use the bigger letters. So what I want to do with you guys today is I want to recreate one of these cards and show you how I made it. But I want you to help me pick some colors. Obviously, I want you to help create with me. And I also I have some different die cuts. This is a punch, and this is a die cut from the Tasteful Labels. So you could use whatever. I did, I just did a circle die cut, and this is the same paper, but I tried Night of Navy, and obviously my light gray design didn't hold up to the darker color. So I will just use this piece for something. And then we have this foiled timber paper, which mimics the layer on this card. Now you have 2 options when you're recreating this. You could use the embossing folder and do a solid color here and not use the shimmery. Completely up to you. So there's a little bit of subtle differences, but you see how you could recreate that. So what do you guys want to play with today? Move that out of the way. I've got vellum. I did die cut some vellum trees, but I noticed on the pool party, I did pool party and poppy parade for this card. The vellum just didn't show up as well. Maybe if I had stamped those trees, but so I had a bunch of white trees cut out because I've been playing with the set. So I used white. So don't be afraid to change it up. Now, I didn't finish the inside, but I am going to put a piece of basic white in here that's 3 3/4 by 5, and I'm going to stamp these trees on there in Pool Party. And you can also stamp your envelopes with these trees. I love this. I was also thinking this might go well with the Mountain Air stamp set and the mountain in the background. So your paper pumpkin stamps are great. You want to collect these exclusive stamp sets. You can't get them anywhere but your paper pumpkin box. So this piece, let me show you. So I got some vellum here. I've got all kinds of stuff here. This piece, this is a sheet of that paper. And look, it's identical. Okay, so I love this. I trimmed off some of the bottom, and then I just trimmed it so that my tree was right at the top, and I made this 5.5 by 4 1/4, so it would cover right over my card front. So you could use any color for your card base. If you wanted a color on the back, you could use a different color and then just put some basic white on the inside. So I sponged or used my blending brush, and I added Pool Party onto this, and I noticed it was so light, probably because my ink pads are well used right now and they needed re-inked. So on this one, I actually sponged on Coastal Cabana because when we use these brushes, it actually is very light compared to our cardstock color when you're brushing it on or sponging it on. So you can get it heavy-handed if you're using a sponge, but these tend to do a lighter version. So I actually pulled out Coastal Cabana, but you can't tell the difference because it comes out really light. I do too, Shirley. I love this paper, and I have tons of it. I just think it is so incredibly beautiful. So we can recreate this card with this sheet, and let me show you. So where I got this from was the back side of that sheet. So the top portion, probably have the thing I die cut somewhere. The top portion of this that I cut off is gorgeous. It has a foiled snowflakes, and then the back side is this diamond pattern in light gray, which would be the smoky slate. So that's what I used here instead of a plaid piece. So you can change up the designs, but those are our papers, and then we have this sheet that's the timber. It has trees on the back. We have this fun pattern, and it has the cabin pattern on the back. You have the plaid and snowflakes. And then on the back, let me show you the paper pumpkin instructions. I had them here somewhere. What did I do with them? Don't you hate when you have a bunch of stuff and you just don't even know where you're laying things? That's my desk right now. That's my creative space right now. It's here somewhere. Not on my desk, though. What in the world did I do with it? Darn it! Goodness gracious, Beth. Does anyone else lose stuff like this? Am I the only one? Ay, ay, ay. And I wanted to show you the instructions, too, because they're so pretty. Oh, Lord knows where I stuck them. I was just looking at them because, oh my word, there's alternatives on there. Oh, there they are, under your box. All right, sorry about that interruption. So when you get your kit, good morning, Anne. The kits always have these printed instructions. Now, Paper Pumpkin does do a video, so if you're more visual like me, sometimes you need to see somebody doing it. But look at the envelopes. I forgot to show you this close up. So they're the shaded spruce with this silver foiled trees. Isn't that gorgeous? And then you can just use a white mailing label on these. The inside's plaid. So wouldn't somebody love to get this holiday card in the mail? I can't wait to use them. So when you open it, I love this. At the top, it shows you the two kits and all the bits and pieces you're going to need. So this came with some red twine. It had these really pretty embellishments. They're all sparkly. You always get, your glue dots and your dimensionals. I had one label left, so we can use that today. And then it tells you exactly how to stamp everything. So it also tells you some extra tools that you may want to add. Now, I always recommend having the Stampin' Pierce mat. Mine's well loved, can't you tell? And the Take Your Pick tool. And of course, snips. You always need scissors because if there's twine or ribbon or anything. And I like to clean mine. This is the chamois, this purple thing. Mine is in a stamp case. You can use that. You just get it wet with water. Mine's well loved, and it dries out. You just re-wet it under the faucet, and it's good to go. Or you can use the Stampin' Scrub. I use both. So when you open this, it tells you card number 1. It tells you what to stamp. The little white circles are dimensionals, and the little black dots are these adhesive dots. And then it just shows you how to assemble it. So I love the instructions, but the bonus, now Paper Pumpkin has a blog now. Excuse me. They do have a blog now, and they do a video. I don't know if they did the one yet for this kit. It shows you alternatives. But you'll notice on the back there's a couple. So this is actually the envelope cut up and used. This is this gorgeous paper right here. And then these are just, they took the vellum piece. I used all of mine. They took the vellum piece and they sponged it, or maybe even colored it with blends. You can color your vellum with blends on the back. You just want to make sure it dries. And then, so it shows you some additional things. And you can always go on Pinterest too. Lots of people put their alternatives, or, you know, even cards using the stamp set on there. And mine will be on there too. So we have this gorgeous piece, and on one of them, I saw where it was sponged with, I'm trying to think where I saw that at. Maybe it was online. It was sponged with Pool Party. Maybe it was Stampin' Up's page. So they used this instead of the plaid. And then you always have room down here. I cut this on purpose so that I would have room to stamp a greeting. Ooh, so this is card 1. So you're saying do it this direction instead of, I call it portrait or landscape. So if you hear me say that, that's what I mean. I mean portrait when it opens this way, and I mean landscape when it opens to the top. And I guess landscape could also be, depending on how you cut your card, this way as well. But landscape, I mean the longer side is this direction. So what do you guys think? You want to try this way? Do you want to do plaid? So I need some quick decisions because we're already to almost 9:30. Do you want to do Pool Party, or you want to try a different color? What do you want to try? You want to try some different patterns? I really want to make this fun today. Here's a couple cards I made using this set. I've showed them a couple times. I love this suite. I just think it is so versatile. It is so incredibly beautiful. I will be making tags with it as well. So what do you guys think? Do you want to do this card? I have my mini here, so we can die cut whatever we need. And I didn't cut any bases or anything. I mean, I have everything cut. You know, I have tons of stuff cut in advance. But I mean, I didn't choose any colors because I wanted to know if you wanted to do Pool Party or if you wanted to try something different. And you could even, like, this is tone on tone, but you could add color to this and then use a different color base. Absolutely, Jarvetta. Absolutely. So tell me what you guys think. You want to go the teal route? Do you want to use, I tell you, I did sponge a little piece of this with Blackberry Bliss, and it was gorgeous. I'm not sure where it's laying, though. I've put it with somewhere that I thought I was going to use it. Lord knows what I did with it. But I will tell you, I wouldn't do a light design like this unless you're doing a lighter color, because as I experimented on, where'd that circle go, my pieces, the design was just too light to hold up to that. Somewhere I have a circle in here. Wonder where I put it. Wonder it went. It went somewhere. Anyways, oh, that's right here, Beth, in front of your face. So when I did Night of Navy on this, the design just wasn't dark enough to show up. So, if you want to do this design, I think would be gorgeous, but you need to pick a lighter color. So I will use this piece. I may even try sponging it and seeing how it turns out. I mean, so what do you guys think? Do you want to try, you could do this background with the Noel as well. And if you don't like silver or you don't have the silver foil paper, you could always use grays or another color, whatever color you want to pop out there. What paper do you think, Linda? Do you want, I mean, we don't have to sponge it. You could change it up and do the snowflakes. We could do this one. And we could still do the trees and this layered piece right here. So some of these are a little darker. Ooh, Jarvetta says snowflakes. That's the back side of this. So, and I think you could even sponge this, and the color would show where there's white. So we could try color, or we could leave it black and white, or gray and white. It's actually basic gray and white. Thanks, Antoline. Hi. I love him. Okay, let's do snowflakes. All right, let me cut that. So, do we want to go with pool party? Or now, I don't know that I have, I think Pam said, what color did Pam say? Highland Heather, but I don't know if I have Highland Heather paper. You could always use, so this is kind of what it would look like if we used pool party. You know, my favorite. I love pool party. I love the Bermuda Bay. And I don't use Coastal Cabana as much as I did, but I do like using it at Christmas time. So let me move all this stuff. I'm not sure where I'm moving it to. But let's grab our trimmer. So I cut this piece 5 by 3 3/4 because I wanted a wider border, and I noticed this had kind of a wide border, so that's what I mimicked. So I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4 by 5. And this little strip can become, like you can make different cards and do a different background and use this as your little strip here. So this piece right here is just layered. It has a texture piece, it has a solid banner piece, and then it has a word over top of it. So you could use this scrap here with a different pattern. So keep all your little scraps. Don't toss those. Okay. Balmy blue with the snowflakes. Balmy blue base. Okay. So we're gonna need 2 colors. We need a base, and we need a pop of color here. So, and I do have a strip. I have some strips of this already cut that we can use. That one's not long enough. Let me see. Might have to trim this one down. Okay. So, depending on how you want it, do you want to still use this? Or we could use, what other strips do I have here? We could use this pattern and then layer on top of it. Because since we have a darker background, we could layer that. So I'm gonna grab Balmy Blue. And we need another pop of color. Okay, Jarvetta says later. So here we're going to start building, just so I can show it to you. Sometimes I just like to lay things out to see if I would like them. I'm going to trim this really quick. I used, I think this is 3/4. Yeah. Okay, so this little strip is 3/4, so I'm just going to cut this. I'm going to save this little strip. Don't throw your strips away. And it was by, let me see, I have my ruler here. Forgot to write down all my measurements. So this little background strip is by 2.5. So 3/4 inches by 2.5. You could make it longer, you can adjust it, but this banner piece that was here was longer than my texture piece. And because these trees were a little bit taller than my die cuts that are in, let's see, these dies are called, they go with the Peaceful Cabin, but they're called cabin dies. They're a little bit shorter, so I just adjusted the size. I've got dies flying everywhere. Good morning, Dad. Okay, Vicki says she changed her mind later. So I'm going to start cutting bits and pieces. And it's okay if we don't like something. We'll just use it on a different card. I am not worried. Don't be afraid to experiment. Okay, so we're going to start building this. Now, let's see if the vellum trees show up. Because we're not going to be able to really stamp. I don't know if the stamp will show up on that. We can try it. So there's the vellum trees. I think they'll actually show up really well. So I have a pile of them over here. And they just line up. We'll glue them down later. We're just trying to get a feel of how it's gonna look. So we're not worried. So that's the beginning. Did anybody say a pop of color that you want to go with Balmy Blue? So this color right here is Poppy Parade. So I've got Pool Party and Poppy Parade. And I'm going to grab my foil. Do you guys want to do silver foil for the Noel? Now we do have, I will tell you, somewhere I threw my annual catalog. We do have other word dies. So in the annual catalog, we have, on page 66, we have word wishes. Excuse me. It has New Year's, Mother's, Happy Easter, Christmas, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's, Halloween, Merry, Father's, and Thanksgiving. So you could do Christmas and do a little tiny Mary, not the die cut, but you could do Christmas. And then I think that's all we have right now for the words for those. So you could use those dies and do those, or you could do the playful alphabet. I don't have those other word dies. Vicki suggests stamping the trees in Night of Navy. That could work. That would definitely show up. I think I have, no, I'll have to grab Night of Navy. I would do that, Vicki, but I don't have those dies. So I just wanted to show those to you. You may already have those in your collection. All I have are the alphabet. Excuse me. Okay, let me grab some Calypso Coral paper. Okay, I had to grab a piece of Calypso Coral. Okay, so this is Calypso Coral. And it would be, it's a 1/2 inch. Now, I don't have any, I don't have the banner punch. That would be a great thing to have. I just freehand my banners. But on this one, I don't even know what happened to my other card. Oh, I'm having a day, aren't I? So on this one, I used Pool Party and Night of Navy. I did hand cut the banner. I just do it with my scissors. But I wanted to show you, on this one, I actually used this die set from the Harvest dies. And then I didn't like the length, so I just trimmed off the end so it was straight. So do you guys like the Calypso Coral as your banner? We can always cut it and see if you like it. So we've got the trees, and the banner is 1/2 inch. Okay, so Night of Navy trees, we will stamp that behind our vellum trees. So these go on like this. Then you're going to have this piece, and then this one I did a little shorter. My ruler. And I think this is about 2 3/4. You could do it a little bit longer if you space your trees out, or maybe use more trees. The original card had 5 trees, so I tried to stay with that, but you could put as many as you want on there. And I just realized Vicki had said, let's try portrait. So if we turned it this way, our trees are actually going to be a little tighter together. And I might even be able to make this a tad wider, so it really shows. Night of Navy for the ink or for the paper? I just want to make sure I'm following what you guys said. I'm going to trim my foil down. So if you say a color, I just need to know, because I know I've asked a couple questions, and so I can keep track. Do you guys want to do foil letters? So it would be like this Noel is foil, the silver foil. We have a pack that just has different silver foils, and they're beautiful. Okay, so Vicki says no coral. Let me see, I've got a piece of Night of Navy. I have this already cut because I cut strips earlier. So that would be the Night of Navy. And we're going to trim it. So don't pay attention to the length. Okay, so we're going to do foil letters. And what do you guys think about the Night of Navy? And then we can stamp Night of Navy ink in the background for the trees, this tree stamp. And then I had this somewhere I had a leftover label. If you want to use the leftover label that you had from the paper pumpkin, you could use that, or we have this punch that works with the words, or we have this die cut. So you can change it up, or if you actually got the kit and you have one of these pieces left, you could use it. And I'm thinking I might make this whiter. I don't know. What do you guys think? The pattern doesn't, I mean, I guess you can kind of see it. It definitely breaks it up. It has some texture, but I feel like it might need to be whiter. And then I can space my trees a little bit differently. So let me see. Let me see if I can find. Okay. So I did 3/4. I'm going to cut an inch off here on my scrap pieces here. I just want it a tad wider. I don't want it to be too wide. I don't want it to take over, but I do want that pattern to show a little bit more. Okay, so this is 1 inch instead of 3/4, and then I will just rearrange my trees a little bit different so they show. What do you guys think? The trees that I'm stamping, Night of Navy. And then this, on my sample, oh, we don't need a label. What am I doing? This goes with this card. Just ignore me. You could put a label if you don't want to use the Noel words, but we're going to die cut the letters. I forgot. I'm already getting myself confused. Okay, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Yeah, the pattern definitely shows better. Definitely like that better. And I'm going to pull in my die cut machine here so we can do the letters. Okay, so forget what I said about the label. You could change it and use the label. That would be absolutely fine. I just forgot. We're die cutting the words here. So let me get my letters out. So like I said, if you had that other word set, it does have a stamp set that coordinates with it. You could definitely change the word and use something else, but I don't have those, so I'm just going to pull my letters off here. And like Jenny and I were talking yesterday, if you have the old Prose die cut letters or something else, even though they're retired, you could certainly use those. Okay. So I'm just putting these on here. Or peace, yes, yes. I have some old words, and I'm not sure what's in there. I'm going to have to look. But you could definitely put whatever. You'll just want to adjust your banner. If you do a longer word than 4 letters, because see, my pop of color just comes on either side of my word. You may want to adjust the length of your layers for this. So the underneath layer is shorter, the banner's a little bit longer, and then you've got your letters on top. I love this little mini. Okay, so you guys know this week I have been talking about some of my favorite products, and I've talked about the cut and emboss machine. I think this is a must-have if you're ready to go to the next level and step up your cards. And the mini's great if you already have the bigger one. I like it because it just sits right here and I can grab it really quick to cut these little pieces. And then yesterday I was talking about paper pumpkin is one of my favorite things. It is great for all levels of crafters. You get ink, you get stamp sets, and you can pair those with a few things that you like from the annual catalog. You can, they're just a great starting point, the paper pumpkin boxes. I can't seem to get this closed. Okay, so then I'm just going to pop these out. And you could save this little thing from the O for something. Anyone else have a problem not throwing scraps away? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Okay. So I already had my trees die cut, but I did, you can still use the mini. You just have to cut your paper down. And I did those from vellum. I also had a bunch of white trees laying here. So we're going to use that. We're going to stamp so we didn't actually do any sponging because all the colors are perfect. Now you could sponge on this. I'm positive that the snowflakes would change to the color that you're sponging. So your paper pumpkin comes with a D-sized block. All the stamps that are in the paper pumpkin stamps will fit on this block, but you might have to turn it a little bit. So don't be afraid to stamp with your block diagonal. Hello, Tracy. I didn't see you pop in. I'm a true hoarder. Every once in a while, I get fed up with myself, and I start throwing things away. But okay, I'm grabbing my Night of Navy ink because we decided to stamp the tree. So we're going to take this, and I haven't trimmed my banner yet, and we're going to put the Noel on there. That. So if you wanted to see this, I'm going to trim this down in a second. So here's our trees, and we changed it to go portrait instead of landscape. So that's about what it's going to look like, and we're going to stamp this row of trees back here in Night of Navy. Ooh, Pam, that sounds awesome. I sort them too. And then I have a bucket, and I use all my little scraps to die cut, and then I have a mug that has all my little pieces that are like an inch or half an inch to do my, I love strippy backgrounds. But every once in a while I get fed up with myself for not using them fast enough, and I have to just toss them and say bless and release and move on. And start over because I get overwhelmed by them. Okay, are you guys ready? Anyone else nervous? Oh, I love this though. I'm so glad we tried some different paper. So I'm going to put this stuff off to the side so I can stamp this. And one thing that you want to have Now this hasn't been on my list yet, but you know, I talked about the Take Your Pick tool. I think this is so essential to have. This is the other thing. If you're gonna have photopolymer stamps, you're gonna need the Pierce mat. Or you can also grab, like I've done this in a pinch, I have my Stamparatus next to me, just grab out your Stamparatus mat and lay it down. But I tend to like this one for when I'm stamping on my table. Vicky, you'll get there. Okay. I know, isn't paper awesome? Okay. Here we go. I'm going to give another tip here. If you haven't stamped with me before, when you first get these stamps, there can be a film on the photopolymer from production. I ink it and I stamp. And I just have a scrap sheet here that I've been stamping all over and sponging on. And I just try to get anything off of that. Now I've already stamped with this, so it's not, mine doesn't actually have it on there. And don't be afraid, Night of Navy, Blackberry Bliss, reds are going to make your stamps look pink. That's okay. I'm just cleaning this really quick before I stamp again. Okay, it's going to have that little pink hue, and mine's actually really wet. I just sprayed my thing. So you're going to have that behind it. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to ink this up. I love Night of Navy, oops, and silver together. I have to admit, I don't use Balmy Blue enough. I'll tell you another blue that's great is Pacific Point. I just bent my trees, no worries. And I just don't use it enough. Okay, so we want this to go up. I'm gonna go about the middle, maybe a little bit below. Yes, I've done that too, Pam. I've washed my stamps with the mild soap and water, because I noticed photopolymer can kind of get really grimy, especially when you're stamping a ton and cleaning. Okay, so there's our trees. And so you can see the ones I've already used dark ink with because they're very loved. That just means you love your stamps. Don't worry about that. Okay, so we're done with this, and you can stamp on the inside. I have some white, a bunch of white layers laying here somewhere that I keep cut. I just saw them. Oh, they're okay. They're on my other table. So we're going to assemble this, and I like to do my layer first and then glue this down. On these cards, on the original paper pumpkin cards, these were on dimensionals. So I like to build my layer and then put the dimensionals on and put that last. You, of course, can do it any way that you like. I adhered this one flat. If you're mailing things, this has dimension behind it, so you may not want the double dimensionals. So here we go. I've got to figure out how long I need this banner, and I'm just gonna kind of guess from this one. I think it's about 3. Okay, I forgot to trim that. I may just hand trim it. So I keep messing up my vellum trees here. Like I said, you can put these as close together as you want, or if you want to spread them out. I'm going to put a little one over here. Maybe I'm trying to just mimic how those were connected together. And they were a little bit taller than our dies. So, where's my scissors? I'm just going to cut this down to 3 inches, and then I'm going to banner the edge. So I'm just bringing this in really quick. down to about 3. And then I'm just going to use my scissors. So if you have the punch, you can use that. I just cut down the middle, and then I trim from the corner into where I cut. I'm not worried about it being perfect. So if you like it to be uniform and exact, then you'll want to use the punch. And like Pam said, this kind of looks like a ribbon. So if you had a ribbon that you wanted to use, you could use that instead of your paper banner. Just be careful when you're trimming it. Don't get your fingers. Okay. So this is going to go like this. I probably trimmed it a little too much. It's supposed to be just a tad longer. So you can, like I said, you can make it the length that you want. I'm making it a little bit shorter since we're doing a portrait card, but you could definitely trim this. So I'm going to start gluing these together. And then I'm going to do my trees. And then build my background here. Just trying to lay that across the middle. And I like using the liquid glue because it gives me a little leeway to move things around. I will say, if you don't have an adhesive eraser, Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell them anymore, but you can pick them up in a craft store. I have mine here because when I start gluing letters, I tend to get really messy. And when you have foil paper, the right way. When you have foil paper, it can get kind of dull from that when your glue comes out. So just a little bit of glue. The other thing you could do is if you have the adhesive sheets, you could put that on the back of your letters. That way you just peel and stick. A lot easier. That's normally what I do. I don't like gluing these little letters. They just, they can get messy. I'm messy, I should say. It's not the letter's fault. It is absolutely me. Because I do things like that. And then when you touch your letter, it's, I didn't get that straight at all, did I? It does not want to move. Okay. Peel it off. And try this again. Yes, I love it. This is what it looks like. And you literally, mine, you can tell it's been well loved. You can literally, it helps pull up the glue and then you just peel it off. So Stampin' Up! Used to sell them. That's where I got mine. But I know that you can get them in craft stores like Hobby Lobby or Michael's or probably on Amazon. And I've had mine since the beginning. So I'm over 5 years in. This past February, I celebrated my 5 years. So this has been around. We're almost to year 6. So that tells you how long it lasts. So see, I do have a little bit of adhesive there, and all you do is you want to let it dry because it will move your stuff. And then you just rub this over top and it picks that up, all the sticky up. But on foil, sometimes it leaves it streaky, so that's why I like to use the adhesive sheets. And Stampin' Up! Does sell the adhesive sheets. It's actually listed, I believe, on the adhesive page and with the cut and emboss machine. Yes, true, what Jenny said. It also takes the fuzzies off your edges. Okay, so I am going to use glue dots for this piece. And so I'm going to build this first. This is going to have dimensionals as soon as I find my pack here. And I'm going to use glue dots on these. And I'm going to put the glue dot about the middle where it's going to get covered up. It's going to be kind of tucked underneath of this. So I know some people are particular. Oh, that one's done. Don't worry, I've got a new roll right here. About, you know, the adhesive will show when you use vellum, but I don't mind the glue dots. I think it's okay. Still got glue on my fingers. So just be careful with your vellum. I've been a little bit rough with these, so they have some creases in them. But that's okay. If you guys are having fun, make sure you give me some love on my video. And share with your crafty friends. And this video will get uploaded to my YouTube channel. So if your friends aren't on Facebook, no worries. Just have them go to my YouTube channel. Share it over there. And when I get my glue dot off the side here, I'm just tucking it under. Okay, this little guy is down here. So then this goes over it like that. What do you guys think? Oh, somehow I'm missing a glue dot clear up here. Let's just use that to tuck this tree. There we go. No, trees aren't perfect. They can be crooked. They can be all kinds of things. Hopefully I got that straight. Okay. And then I'm going to glue this flat because, and I might stick some more glue dots under this because I don't want it to get stuck. But I plan on mailing cards like this, so I don't want as much dimension because it will cost you extra to mail. So one of my other favorite tools, most overlooked thing probably in the catalog, is a bone folder. This helps you get wonderful creases when you're making cards, boxes, bags, you name it. You want to make sure you have one of those. So I'm going to glue this flat, and then I'll show you how I use my Take Your Pick tool to tuck in some more glue dots. Because it's okay if you look at your card even after you're done and you say it needs something. And if you, like I said, if you wanted more trees, then just pile those on. Don't worry about, you know, using more than 5. Let's see. I think I got it straight. My fingers are really sticky. I also keep baby wipes on hand. You know, for those sticky situations. Now, see that little piece right there? I got glue from my fingers on my card. So I take my adhesive eraser and it pulls it right off. So you can't see these really well, probably if I'd stamped them a little bit higher. So maybe put your trees down lower or put this piece down lower. You can adjust it to what you want to show. I think it shows a little bit more, like on these, I stamped them higher so that they would show above the vellum. That's the downfall sometimes of looking not right on top of my project, but I still love it. It still shows, it gives a pop of color back there. And take my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm gonna grab, what do I do with that? Oh, there it is. I need someone to keep track of me today. Now be careful because when you unroll it, the glue dots are on this side, but I like to feel it because every once in a while some can get stuck on this side and you don't want to waste any. So I just put it on the end of my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm gonna tuck it right in there and then press it down. There we go. Oh yeah, yeah, you could definitely add a mat. Excuse me. I definitely cut it where this size is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches. So you definitely could have a mat under this. You can add a layer that's 5 1/4 by 4, and then you would just have a little bit of the balmy blue showing. And then you can stamp somewhere I have a huge stack of white pieces. So I pre-cut all of these. Let's see if this is the right size. I have these laying everywhere right now. So this is 3 3/4 by 5. Okay. So I cut a bunch of white, and I keep them in these little plastic containers so that it's just ready to go. And I'm gonna take this, and we can take our trees, and instead of Night of Navy, I'm going to stamp them in Balmy Blue. Thank you, Linda and Pam. I love it. Thank you guys for helping me. I love when we get together and we make cards. And I love when you guys help me pick colors. I'm just going to grab my scrap paper here. And I want this to be lighter, so I'm going to stamp. Oh, that's not very clean, is it? That's not Balmy Blue. I didn't get my stamp very clean, it seems like. There we go. Let's try this again. Maybe my Balmy Blue's been too re-inked recently. So I'm gonna stamp off a little bit, and you should use your mat. If you don't use your mat, you might not get an even layer of color because there's no cushion on these. And I'm just gonna stamp it down here at the bottom. And I still think I have maybe, I guess it's Balmy Blue. The first time I had accidentally had a little bit of Night of Navy still on there. So that's for the inside. And like I said, you could do your envelopes like this as well. Don't you just love that layer of trees? Now don't forget, later on today, I'm going to have some simple stamped cards using that stamp set. And there's our inside. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I definitely appreciate you coming on today and checking out my video and getting up early with me. If you're not a morning person, I completely understand. So here's the 2 cards I made to using the Peaceful Place Designer Series paper and the Peaceful Cabin bundle. And the paper is gorgeous. So here's our paper pumpkin kit cards, and they're so beautiful. But if maybe you're not a green, maybe you don't love green, I don't know. This is a great shade. Spruce is a great green, and this is real red. It looks kind of like cherry cobbler, but it said real red on the paper pumpkin. So if you want a different color scheme, you could definitely recreate the cards using pieces that we have in the mini catalog and the annual catalog. So if you need any help with ordering or what to get to replicate some of these, just shoot me a message and I'm happy to help. If you'd like to shop and you don't have a demonstrator, you can go to bethroy.stampinup.net and click on Shop Now. And this is my host code for November, and it's also pinned at the top of my Facebook page. So thank you guys so much for joining me. Oh, move them up a bit, she says. Okay, sorry, Vicki. So there we go. So here's our original cards and here's our recreations, and I love this. I do love blues. You know, blues are my thing. And obviously Pool Party and the teal. So the Peaceful Place paper with its gray tones and white are wonderful to add whatever colors call to you. And you can do really fun colors for Christmas. You don't have to have the traditional reds and greens. I love using Pool Party, Coastal Cabana, and Poppy Parade together. They're just so fun. So the next paper pumpkin is Gifts Galore, and it is, the colors are Evening Evergreen, Old Olive, Flirty Flamingo, Poppy Parade, and Pool Party, and you're going to want to get these. Don't miss this kit. It comes with a Flirty Flamingo Classic Spot, which is a fun, bright pink, and these are actually 3D oversized treat boxes. So they make a 3D treat box, so you get a little sneak peek with the snowman, and I cannot wait to get this kit. So you have till November 10th to reserve your kit. If you want this, don't wait till November 10th. It can sell out. So if you've skipped a month, make sure that you are back on schedule. And if you are new, you can subscribe, and there'll be plenty of posts on my page with the link to sign up. So you can go to paperpumpkin.com and you can select Beth Roy as your demonstrator if you don't have one. So thanks, lady. Which boxes? The paper pumpkin boxes. So Paper Pumpkin can be a subscription, or you can buy prepaid codes. The subscription is $22 a month plus your tax. Shipping's included in the $22. And it has, oh, how many boxes? Sorry, Vicki. There's 9. I'm sorry, I misread that. So that's the subscription cost. This box has 9 oversized treat boxes with food safe bags for this thing. So I'll tell you right now, I'm getting more than one. And if there's refills, I'm going to be all over it. Refills come, I want to say it's the second billing runs around the 21st, and it's the first Monday after that. So I will be all over getting refills because I already know I'm going to love it. I can tell from the picture that I'm going to love it. And I believe you could make cards out of those 3D treat boxes as well. I believe you could cut them up and make really cute cards. So thank you, everyone, for spending some time with me today. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.